Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Last time we were here, we built up some downtown cargo rail and some downtown cargo stations. We're hoping that will help alleviate some downtown traffic and, bring in goods into the downtown core. Also by creating those stations, we've created some rights of way in which we can work around in a realistic sense in the future. What the heck's going on here? Holy cow, that was wild. In today's video, we are going to be looking at major infrastructure projects across the river. We are going to be tunneling, we're going to be bridging, and we're going to be accessing a new whole zone that we haven't built up yet. And hey, look, this is one of the cargo stations that we did last week. So sorry about no video last Friday. Bit under the weather, ran out of time, so you might still hear it in my voice. But I also want to talk about future plans for the rest of the month of December, if you're watching this the day it comes out or the week it comes out. So the weeks of December 19th, 26th, and January 2nd, there's going to be one video a week, probably on the Friday of that week, but if I have time, I'll post another one, and it'll probably be on the Wednesdays of that week. So I'll just keep you in the loop on that, but we'll be starting the second week of January fresh, ready to go after the holiday season. So yeah, we got a full week ahead of us this week. We're going to be focusing on residential expansion. So here we are in the downtown core of the city. Nearby, we built our two downtown cargo stations right here, and they are doing very good. But we have this whole zone over here in Hanover Heights and Waltham, and I think this is a perfect zone to use up our massive amounts of residential demand. We have had planned a bridge right here since pretty much episode like 10 or something of this series. So we're going to be doing that first, and this is important because this is a major road throughout the entire city. We follow Mackenzie Avenue, it goes all the way through on a diagonal. It connects up Greenberg, connects up Prairie Station, it connects up the downtown, it has a major interchange on it, it goes through Ortonville right beside the stadium area, and then it comes to this hill where we can easily bridge across. It'll probably go beyond what we have marketed here to create an interesting connection through here. We also have already planned two bridges over here. One of them is a metro, which is going to be come into play today. It's going to remain above ground since we're already at terrain level. And then we also have a bridge right here, which might need to get upgraded in the future, seeing as it's only 2 lanes. But I also want to get a third connection, and that'll be a tunnel from either one of these two roads. This is Hamilton Avenue, which goes all the way through the city as well, right through Greenberg, and actually connects up to this bridge here, which connects up to New Wilsonburg. That's probably what I prefer, what would be my preference. But we also have one that goes through Old Orchard and Ortonville and connects into Belmont. It also connects to Brown Street or Brown Avenue, which is convenient as well. But so does Hamilton. And we're going to tunnel that one underneath the river. We also have a road over here that we can connect to, which is part of the Bowman Dam. So, lots of building going on today. We're going to focus on the infrastructure of this area first, and then we will move into kind of the zoning and the planning of it, because I think that building the roads first in this situation is probably a good idea. I don't see that many situations where we're going to need different or prioritizing different types of rights of way. Like we don't have any rail lines through here, which is a good thing in this case. But we do have a metro, but the metro definitely came after the roads. So we'll definitely plan out the roads first. I would say that the bridge here is probably the most important, though this bridge here is probably the original bridge. So this one's already built, so we're good. But we will build this one first, and I actually already have the bridge we're going to use planned. So we're going to be using the 6-lane road, no parking for this. And why the 6-lane? Well, it's because it's going to see a lot of traffic, I think. And yeah, it looks cool. I really like this bridge. It's a suspension bridge. I think it's a good length for the, or a good bridge for the size that we need it to be. And it's going to be pretty elevated too. And I like the idea of the suspension bridge being the one that we're going to use. So we're going to start right here at ground level. And we'll keep it at the current position. Right now, we'll just kind of follow the terrain heights. We'll go up gradually, and then we'll get to a certain point, and that's where we'll kind of launch off for the bridge. So we'll say right here, place it down, and yeah, I mean that's a good height, I think, for bridging across. So now we'll choose this arbitrary position, and then we'll just clean up the slant downwards. So 4.7%, that is a little steep. I would like it to be a little bit lower. So we're just going to lower this down a little bit. 4.3, I was going for 4, but I think that's good enough. I mean, I can definitely see a truck using this. It's not that crazy of a slope. And then we get to this major intersection. Yeah, I could definitely see a truck being able to climb up this. I mean, this is a pretty major bridge. We need it to remain at a certain height as well across the river. All right, so we're gonna now bridge this across. I'm just gonna build it straight from here, and we'll see kind of what we need to do, adjusting the bridge pieces versus the elevated pieces. And we'll just go to about right here for now. All right, so it took me a little while to figure out how to get these pieces exactly the way I wanted them, because I wanted to make sure that the bridge was of equal sizes on either side of the suspension bridge, with both posts in the middle. And then I don't mind this side just being purely elevated the entire way. That doesn't bother me too much, though we might make this piece ground level. All right, so there we go. We got that finally clean, at least, which is nice. Oh, I missed this again. We'll lower this back down to the terrain height. Yeah, okay, so there we have it. Pretty nice large bridge coming over the top here, and we we remain at the same elevation the entire way from this point here. Definitely think it's pretty cool. I'm debating whether or not we should have another suspension piece right here, but yeah, I don't know, since it's not above the water. But let's see what we can do. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty cool with the 3 of them. Yeah, not sure how realistic that is. I think it would normally just be 1 across the whole middle of the bridge, but I want to make sure that it's navigable. And this definitely looks nicer having the 3 pieces. Okay, I like this better, having just the 2 pieces. They're at their maximum length, and one of them is in the river here, one of them is in kind of this floodplain kind of area. So I think this makes a lot of sense. The slope is also pretty good. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's with these nodes here. Every single time I do something with them, I need to just, slightly move them to actually clean them up. Okay, so now we've arrived at this point here. We can remove this now, and then we can gradually bring this downwards. So we're at elevated, and then we can just click home, and we'll try and see what it looks like. I mean, we're not that far off of the ground, which is nice. But why don't we bring it to, let's see, so it seems like we're at about 15 meters or something like that. So let's maybe bring it out 1 whole 12 unit block, and then we'll go down a step. Okay, very nice. So now we can slope that, and it'll be a very nice slope. We should probably make this node the same height as the bridge. And we should also make sure that the bridge is all at the same height. Okay, very good. Now we have this nice long gradual slope up to the bridge. And then I don't know if we're going to be able to go through it. No, we're going to go over top. And look at that, right down here. Let's make sure that the name has remained through this entire exchange. There we have it, Mackenzie Boulevard, all the way through this whole map here. Holy cow, how amazing is that? Okay, so now that we've arrived here, let's look at how this road is going to connect. Because I think this road is going to be kind of a bit more of the main street of the town, I believe. So we're just using a country road, it seems. I think that's okay to use to plan. But maybe we should... Yeah, you know what? I think we're just using that for the guardrails here. But it seems like we're using this road for the whole avenue, though we've kind of gone down a step. So why don't we use just the basic road just for some planning purposes? So if this road were to continue straight, let's check out the topography here. So we're going up a little hill here. That's okay. I think that's acceptable. I think we could definitely terraform that as well, because this road would 100% just be going straight from this point. Just makes sense. So let's just bring it out as far as we want. See what that looks like. Okay, very cool. Really like how this one looks. And I don't mind that cut there, because I think we can do something with this terrain. I wouldn't want to build too close to the water anyways, because this river definitely fluctuates in the winter and whatnot. So we can bring this into a convergence point together, so that is convenient. So we'll look at that momentarily. Now let's look at the next infrastructure project, and that is going to be the tunnel. So we're going to tunnel underneath here. We're going to take one of the shortest points that we have available. So we're going to not go this way, because that is not exactly the shortest length, but it seems to be pretty short right here. So that's where we'll kind of aim for. And I definitely want to use Hamilton Avenue for this, because of how much of a major thoroughway it is throughout the entire map. So let's use just the basic 4-lane road. We'll go 4-lane, no parking. And let's see what it looks like if we were to just kind of go straight. Check out the topography here. Okay, very good. We start going into a hill here, and that is fantastic because we can use that to our advantage when we're curving the road into the tunnel and kind of hiding the shape of the tunnel. So let's go into tunnel mode, and I really want the tunnel to emerge right about here. And we're gonna go through the tunnel to about here. Okay, very good. So it looks like, obviously it looks like looks like we blocked the river here, which is not what we want. So luckily we are paused. So what we need to do is we need to go into here, then go into move it, and then we can grab the nodes. And that's where we're going to want them. Are we disrupting the terrain here under the river at all? I don't think we are. So that's really, really good to see. So now that we're here, definitely disrupting the tunnel here. So let's, or sorry, the terrain here. So let's just continue it a little bit. There we go. And then we'll continue this one a little bit as well. All right, so now we need to slope it, which is a bit of a trickier thing because this would definitely be a little tricky in real life. Let's go to about right here. Yeah, 10.9% grade is not ideal, so that's why I want to kind of look at how we're going to connect here, because I would love it if we started digging into the terrain a lot sooner. So let's do this. We'll go ground level, and we'll just do a nice simple curve. All right, so now let's slide back into here. We'll go tunnel, and then we'll go slope, and we will just basically slope it from here all the way back to this point. 4.5%, that's pretty good. And then if we go from here across the river to here, at least, this should be the same distance. It is. Okay, and then we can slope from here down to here. Very good. So there's definitely some terrain challenges, and that is okay. We can definitely hide that by utilizing just, adding some terrain here, making it seem like it's a little bit more realistic of the location that we chose. All right, so there we have it, the beginning of the tunnel here. That's fantastic. And then we merge to this side over here. which we now need to do kind of the similar thing here. I'll try to keep it straight at this point. And whoa, bit of an autosave at an awkward time. We have a ton of relatively flat terrain here as well, so we can do that, and then maybe we can connect it up to this road here running through. So let's do that. Okay, so that'll have to do 5% slope. I think that's going to be okay though, and then we remain below the terrain of, or the height of the river here the whole time. I think maybe we can just do one quick cleanup from this point. Let's do this point here to this point. I think that'll help out a lot actually. And did we even emerge from the ground? No, we didn't. Okay, so now if we look at the slopes again, from, let's just say this point here to this point, it's pretty good. And then if we just grab that one as well, bring it 3.3% is absolutely fantastic. And then we'll do the same thing from here to here, and then even to that one, 4.1. So, you know, a 1% difference between the two sides of it is not the biggest deal in the world. So now we can connect this up pretty simply. I really want this road to connect up to this one, and we're going to bring it into this valley, and then we'll connect it right up to here. Now we're going to definitely need to get this to a larger grade of road. So why don't we go with the one we were just using, actually, the same one here. And then I think maybe if we just grab it right there, we stay at terrain height, and we can bring it at least to here in a straight line. Okay, very cool. And then what we'll do is we'll connect this one up, and we can get this into a bit of a larger highway momentarily. Okay, very cool. So then we can slope this down a bit. Well, we can kind of ease that off a little bit as well. Maybe not have both of them at the same point. So we can have this transition down a little bit farther. So what we'll do is we'll just go into Node Controller, swing this one back, and then we'll go into Surface Painter. So we have a merging right here, and then this one will continue as is. We can also go into Node Controller and then select this to kind of get it to make it look a little bit more realistic. And then over here as well, we can make this one look a little bit more realistic as well by bringing this node way back, and then doing the same thing with Surface Painter. Or not Surface Painter, Intersection Marking Tool. My apologies. There we go. So that's pretty smooth as well. And now we just need to slope it down the hill. So Network Multi-Tool for that. Lots of different tools. There we go. 2.9%. That's a really good slope. And then I actually think we missed a step here with Node Controller, and that is sloping the two nodes here. Okay, so we get to this point here as well, and we can bring this one way back, and we can do a bit of cleanup as well. All right, there we go. So we emerge into a median where we can probably have a dedicated turning lane from this highway. So we can change that up a little bit by just going into here, finding this one right there, and doing, oh, wrong one actually. All right, so now we have dedicated turning lanes going into, well, we don't actually, whoops, but going into the tunnel here, which is going to be definitely beneficial for the build. Also, again, I forgot with Node Controller, we can slope these large nodes, and it makes it look 10 times more realistic. That's for sure. Okay, so we've now created that tunnel, and look at that seamless transition between here. Yet it improves the flow of traffic significantly from even done really into this area, and will be very beneficial for when we build up Elizabethtown in the future. So now we can look at how we're going to connect this road here with this road and this road, and we're going to have a bit of a 3-point convergence. But let's at least bring this one into the area so we can then talk about how we're going to build those roads. So let's open up the topography. That's going to be really important for this road. Okay, we're going to go into freeform, and then let's just try and bring it to about this point. It looks like we're at a certain plane at that point, like a certain level plane right here, which is the same-ish for this whole area. So how about from here we could either go right against the mountain ridge, or we can go right down the middle, and I think going right down the middle is probably the best bet, because I think that would be the most realistic for building a town, and I think that would probably even go straight, right? So maybe this isn't the best idea to choose this road as the main priority, although this is probably an older highway. Maybe it's the original road. I definitely want to make sure that we have a 90-degree angle connection with this, so maybe what we need to do is bring this one a bit farther and figure out roughly the connection point between these roads. So I mean, that connects pretty simply, but I don't think that's exactly the smoothest of ideas. I'm thinking about a roundabout right in here. We can get kind of all 3 roads connecting via the roundabout, which would be nice, but is that a realistic situation for this build? Probably not. Do we need it to be like a highway connection where we have off-ramps and on-ramps? Maybe like a slip lane, but I don't think it needs to be that crazy of a connection. We could also bring it into here and connect it up to this road, and then continue that one onto here. That's something that you would definitely see quite often. I mean, this is a pretty long stretch of road. I can definitely get us to connect up into here, and then have this road continue along here where it connects with this one, but we'll also have a connection through here, and maybe that can turn into a main road along here. So hopefully that made sense. I think that one makes logical sense as well for us. Let's check out the topography, how that's going to work. Yeah, why don't we do that from this point? So 90-degree connection, that's what I really want. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of just freeform this from here. All right, so we have some pretty major connections here, right? And then we're gonna even continue this one along, which will just go straight, and we'll have this one connect like that. There we go. And I think that is a pretty realistic situation that we would see here. We have a really awkward kind of town center, and I don't really even mind that. I think we could get away with changing this road and making this one not entirely straight, especially after this point. But I kind of like the idea of having this awkward triangle here to be the kind of town, the center of the town here, at least. And I think that could be an interesting little challenge. It also gives us opportunities to upgrade things should we need to down the line. So let's just clean up this situation. All right, so we have a fun little interchange here with some slip lanes, and I think this is going to be at least functional for us. But there's definitely needing to be some things where we need to work with TMP for. So one of those things that we need to do is make sure that we have the lanes locked in here so we don't have cars trying to turn left here. So we'll do the same thing on the mirrored side of that. So we'll just back out here, Fantastic. So we have a dedicated kind of slip lane. Next thing we'll do is we'll work on this one where we'll have a dedicated slip lane as well, because I don't want cars taking a left here. So we'll do the same thing on the mirrored side. Very good. And then here we are. This is a bit more of a complex point. So we could have a slip lane off of here, but I don't necessarily see the point in that one. I think just some dedicated turning lanes is going to be good enough. So why don't we go dedicated turning lanes. We'll go left, right and straight here, and then we'll have a dedicated left. And then we'll do the same thing here. So I don't see any cars needing to turn right here at all. So we'll have banned right-hand turns, and we'll have a dedicated left. And then on this one, I don't think we need right-hand turns because we have a slip lane, and we'll give it a dedicated left. So that should cover everything out of this junction. When we get to these points here a bit later on, I think we can talk about them, but we're focused on the major infrastructure projects of this area. So what's the plan for this kind of zone here? Well, definitely thinking that this can either be kind of like a business center, or, you know, it could be a park of some sort, but it's a bit of a tough spot because of the convergence of all these roads. So we might get a couple roads through here, but I'm not too sure. But I think this intersection here is going to work out perfectly for what we need it to be. Now this road here, I think, is exactly what it needs to be. And then right over here, we have kind of a tapering down of lanes. The only thing I can see is us upgrading this road between a certain point, between 2 points, because maybe that becomes a bit more of a major avenue. But that's not the point of today's video, because we are going to try and get a metro now. So if this is where this road would be, we need to have a situation where we kind of figure out where the metro is going to go, right? So I would love it if the metro could have 1 stop, 2 stops, and maybe 3 stops. But how it's going to work with this section here is a bit of an interesting situation. So let's come back over here to the metro and let's kind of figure this out. All right, so we're going through a hill here. So, you know, we could do exactly what we did over here, which I think is probably the most realistic situation. Shave down this hill, bring it right up. But we're gonna probably have to do it with like a level crossing here. We could go underground, but I would rather not. I would rather remain at grade. So we'll remain, no, let's go, yeah, down to ground level. And we'll kind of follow the same length of, like the same distance between the road for this whole situation. And then we can go to about here, maybe, and we'll see what the grade is like. 2.8%. Now, that's not horrible at all. I can definitely live with that. But we could even start the sloping a little bit higher. Rather keep the bridge at the same height. So why don't we bring it right down to this point? 2.5, that's pretty good as well. And then we can upgrade this piece to elevated. All right, so this is where it gets a little tricky because we're going to, if we were to just continue this right through here, we're going to lose access, right, between these roads. So say we have our first stop over here, which is a good distance. How are we going to get around it? Well, I think maybe we should think about trying to elevate the metro into like a flyover situation through here. I think that could be interesting. And then maybe we can lower this road so it goes underneath the metro. That could be a fun situation. And I think we're at a decent grade level for that. So why don't we try and find, yeah, I think we're at a good distance. So if we get a stop right here at ground level, so why don't I make that a park so we kind of remember where it is. What we can then do is bring it elevated. This road goes underneath it. Then we have it elevated. We have an elevated metro stop right in here. Right in kind of the central point. And then we'll swing it over these roads. And we can keep it elevated. Or we can go back down to ground level over into here in Hanover Heights, where we can have 1 or even 2 stops out over this way. I think overall that would be a good plan, and then maybe down the line we can converge a new metro line from this one here or something like that. We can have they can have this one go underground the entire way. We could elevate it the whole way, because we do have a metro station right here that goes in this direction. So I think that one would probably be underground underneath here, and maybe we can even connect to both of these metros. It would probably remain underground, so the connection would be underground and above ground. But yeah, that could also translate to a different option where we remain underground the entire we start going underground here, and then we have that actually could be pretty cool, because then we remove the issue and we go underground, and then we have a station here where we have 2 stops. Then we swing this one underground, and then we come back above ground over here for the 2 stops in Hanover Heights. That could be beneficial, and then we have the metro that comes from this way down the line, meets up with this one, and then goes in this direction for maybe 1 more stop over here. Maybe it gets closer to this side of the university. Yeah, you know what? I think that's probably the best bet. We already have a ton of elevated metro, so let's redo this. Okay, that worked out very well. Actually, I really like this idea. I'm sure when they built it, they probably just dug it out and then placed it in. So I'm just placing this one here for now. I'm definitely going to be moving the station. I just wanted to get the height right. So the station is not going to be on this road. It's going to be probably on a secondary road right through here or on this side. But I wanted to get the height of this line down. Because that'll play into how we go with this metro in the future, because this one's going to turn and then probably connect through Bellevue and then connect into Fort Prairie Stampede grounds and then into the wider world. But I'm not ready for that metro line yet. We'll talk about that one in the future, but I can definitely see us bringing it to at least Midtown. But yeah, maybe even to Dedham Square or something like that. That could be a good little system right through here. But that's a project for another day. So now that we've gotten that in, let's now plan for its reemergence from the ground. So we're at this point here, and then what we need to do is just go into freeform, and we'll curve it to about this point, and then let's try to figure out where this metro would go in real life. So we're underground over here somewhere. Let's look at the terrain. Pretty smooth, nice, a little bumpy, but you know, it's all the same. And maybe we can get it to terminate somewhere over here, but obviously we're not ready to plan that yet. So let's just bring it roughly to the point where we need it. I think I'm gonna move this right of way down the line. So metro, Steven. There we go. But I think this rough curve is probably good for what we want it to be, but we need it to re-emerge from the ground. And I don't mind it actually getting close to the hill here, but I want it to be a really long gradual curve. And then maybe we slowly go straight so that we have the metro stop over kind of here. Okay, very cool. I like where this location is to re-emerge, but I think maybe we need to think about sloping this a little bit better. So we'll go from here, we'll slope it to maybe right here. We'll see what that gives us. 4%. I'm looking for 3 exactly. 2.9. That's pretty good. Actually, let's go a bit farther. I think we have the space. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we put these two back to terrain height. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll go from this point down to here, 2.9%. Very good. I like where this is kind of coming out via the interchange or intersection here. I think that's really good. So while this station might move, I don't think this is going to move very much, nor will this whole situation. We definitely need to slope this as well, just to make sure that it is all at the same plane. And then we can have one stop here. So we'll have Hanover Station. All right, so that'll be beneficial for bringing people in from maybe over here. We'll bus them into here. That could work. And then we have 3 metro stations, and then also some in the future down in Waltham. But that is a project for another day, because I think we're good for today's build. You know, lots of infrastructure projects, lots of stuff going on, and my voice can't take much more, so I need another day to recover before I can get a longer video going. Lots of cuts in this one, lots of pauses for me to drink water, which probably weren't in the video, but there we have it, those 2 stops right there. Good metro connections, good bridge connections. We got a tunnel as well. Lots of planning for the future going on. We got this pretty cool intersection here as well. But in tomorrow's video, we will start actually building up the residential of Hanover Heights, and we'll start talking about this business plaza at least, and then maybe we can swing in the metro over here. I'm kind of holding off on that. We'll start over on the Hanover Heights side of things, and then we'll move over into the Waltham side of things in Friday's video. So Wednesday's going to be the business center, and then also looking at Hanover Heights, and then Waltham will be later on in the project. But I think overall, I think we got some really good systems going in place. Lots of fun builds, and you know, I really enjoy these types of builds. I really like the planning of it and the infrastructure building. So let's end it here, folks, and we'll talk soon. Have a good one. Happy Monday. Peace out.